sentence passed by the Qatar court against 8 ex-Indian Navy personnel has stirred a hornet's nest. India has expressed shock over the verdict and is in touch with the Qatari authorities. Now, it has vowed to explore all legal options to secure the release of its citizens, and these 8 men, including decorated officers who commanded major Indian warships, were employed by a private firm that provided training and related services to Qatar's armed forces and security agencies. Now, expressing shock, the Ministry of External Affairs said that it is closely monitoring the case as it holds high significance, and they have also reassured that consular assistance will be provided to those arrested. Furthermore, India has firmly stated that it will take up the matter with the Qatari authorities and ensure that appropriate measures are taken to address the issue. Meanwhile, the opposition is not convinced and accused the government of inaction over a year. Remember, the former naval officers were arrested by Qatari authorities on August 30th last year and have since been under solitary confinement. The trial began on March 29 this year. On the other hand, the opposition leaders have said that they had raised the matter in the parliament, but the government did nothing. Listen in.
ये देश स्तब्ध है, पीड़ा में है, दुखी है, परेशान है। मोदी सरकार का कहना है कि वो स्तब्ध और शॉक्ड है, पर वो शॉक्ड कैसे है? अगस्त 2022 से ये 8 नौसेना के पूर्व अधिकारी कतर की जेलों में हैं। उन पर मुकदमा चल रहा है जिसके चार्जेस, जिसका आरोप तक सार्वजनिक नहीं किया गया है, और ऐसी आशंका थी कि ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है। तो सरकार हाथ पे हाथ धरे क्यों बैठी रही? सरकार ने चिंताओं की, सरकार ने शिकायतों की, सरकार ने सवालों की अवमानना क्यों की? हम आज इस कगार पर कैसे पहुंच गए कि हमारे 8 नौसेना के पूर्व अधिकारी मौत की सजा का सामना कर रहे हैं?
I can't say anything except to express my deep distress and shock. We don't know enough facts. The government has not disclosed enough facts. But it's only when more facts are available that we'll be able to say something. We can only say we hope that the government did the utmost that it could, and that I hope that the government will continue to do whatever is necessary.
मैं अस्तब्ध हूं भारत सरकार की अदूरदर्शी, अप्रभावशाली विदेश नीति के प्रति। हमारे नौसेना के 8 पूर्व अधिकारी फांसी पे लटकाए जा रहे हैं, और यह मामला लोकसभा में विपक्ष ने उठाया, पर खामोश है सरकार। 1 साल सोती रही सरकार। क्यों नहीं कूटनैतिक स्तर पर, राजनैतिक स्तर पर और व्यक्तिगत स्तर पर इन 8 के प्राण बचाने के लिए क्यों नहीं बात?
Well, the BJP has assured that the government is looking into the matter and that justice will prevail. Listen in.
और मुझे लगता है कि भारत मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में विदेश मंत्रालय की सजगता पूरी दुनिया जानती है। इसलिए भारतीय किसी भी व्यक्ति के साथ अगर किसी देश में न्याय को लेकर कोई प्रश्न चिन्ह खड़ा होता है तो कानूनी मदद के लिए सरकार तैयार रहती है। तत्काल ये प्रतिक्रिया भारत सरकार के विदेश मंत्रालय ने दी है।
No, MEA is doing their job, and Congress has basically Congress has become unemployed, so they don't have anything. So they speak on every irrational things without understanding the complex and the severity of the issue. The MEA is looking, and we are sure through International Court of Justice and other justice prevailing methods, we'll be able to get our people back.
Well, Times now learns from sources that families of 5 former naval officers have been in Qatar since they were detained and were present during the legal process as well. Families are learned to be in touch with MEA officials, and sources say that veterans were working for a firm that got a contract from Qatar Navy for training purposes. Now, the first project was started in 2016 and it continued for several batches. They contributed to major warship training programs of Qatar Emiri Navy, and India is learned to be planning to contest the death sentence.
And naturally, this is a matter about which there cannot be too much of public discussion. But I want to say a couple of things. One is that the Amir can give a pardon, you know. Of course, one has to apply for that. I'm sure that at the right time, it will be done. Only thing is that, you don't get the pardon the next day. I don't expect them to be executed. Most unlikely, In diplomacy, you never say never.
Now, the news of death penalty came as a hammer blow to the kin of those former naval officers. Times Now spoke to brother-in-law of veteran Navy Commander Pakala, who appealed to the Prime Minister to use his influence to help secure pardon for the officers.
There is a false news which is running in the media that they have been a spy to Israel, all these ex-naval officers, which is a false statement. Can anybody prove me where did any government give a statement that these people are being a spy to Israel? Neither Qatar government has given any statement nor the Indian government has given the statement. Then where did this word come into the scenario is my question. First thing. See, from 14 months, we are pleading the government, Indian government, what are the charges? Please convey us. They said nothing has been conveyed by the Qatar government. No, I don't know what confinement he was into or what situation he is facing. Never my sister has briefed me anything on it. She's always sad from last 14 months. How is Jijaji? He is fine. What are the cases, charges? I don't know. So how many months should I see my sister suffering and the kids suffering? And all these naval officers are suffering. Today in Times of India, I have seen about Sugnakar character has been posted so nicely. He is a reputed officer and other officers are also so reputed. One is a president awardee. How can these people be a spy? It is not difficult if our Indian government PM talks. Remember one incident in India, one Air Force officer unexpectedly flied into Pakistan area and our great PM sir has brought him back. So we are expecting the same PM can talk to the government and get this resolved.
Let me go across to my colleague Shivani for more on this. Shivani, what are the steps that are being taken by the Indian government now?
See, the Indian government is exploring all legal options in accordance to the international law to bring these men from the Navy back to India who are awarded death sentence. And there's a campaign also being run by the Navy veterans out here. They are signing petitions. They are making pleas to the government that all possible measures should be taken to bring these men from the Navy back, because they were hired by a company that was working for Qatari Navy, and they used to give training to the men in the Navy of Qatar. So there have been undeclared charges against them. There is lack of transparency in the whole matter. There have been only 3 hearings since they've been detained. So how can it be decided, and how such a harsh punishment can be given to them of a death sentence? So all these questions are being raised by the Ministry of External Affairs, and they are in touch with the families of these veterans, and they are exploring all legal options. And one thing is very sure that has also been brought out in a statement from the Ministry of External Affairs, that they will be contesting this judgment of death sentence for these former Navy officers and 1 sailor. And 5 of the 8 families are already in Qatar. They've been undergoing the trial procedures, and they are in touch with the government of India. So all the measures are being taken to explore how we can bring these naval men back to India, because there have been laws, the international laws of the sea, by which we can bring them back, and then the legal procedures can continue in India itself. So all efforts are being made. We have to see and wait and have to wait for more updates
the
from
Indian government is exploring all options in order to help all those veterans who are, of course, facing the death sentence now. Well, thank you, Shivani.